Healthy aging isn't about perfection. It's about daily rhythms and support systems. It's what happens in the other 360 days a year you're not sitting in a doctor's office. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Kerry, and this is our monthly conversation about aging well at home right here in Loudoun County. Last month, we talked about veterans and how the VA benefits can help families bring support into the home. And if you missed that one, it's worth going back to it. But this month, I want to zoom out because healthy aging matters for all families, whether you're connected to the military or not. So August is National Wellness Month. So it felt like the right time to ask a simple question. What does healthy aging look like day to day? If you're caring for a parent or if you're an older adult, this episode is for you. So no medical jargon, just what I actually see working in real homes all over Loudoun County, Purcellville, Middleburg, Leesburg, Ashburn, Hamilton, Sterling, and beyond. So when most people hear healthy aging, they think, I go to my checkups, I take my medications, I'm doing fine. And those things do matter, but they're only a small piece of the picture. Healthy aging isn't about perfection. It's about daily rhythms and support systems. It's what happens in the other 360 days a year you're not sitting in a doctor's office. So when I walk into a home, I'm not just looking at a list of diagnoses. I'm noticing the fridge, the calendar on the wall. I'm noticing the way someone moves from their favorite chair to the kitchen. So those little things tell me more about how someone is really doing than anything else. So I'll give you an example. I think of a client here in Leesburg. I'll change some details to protect privacy. But on paper, she looked healthy. She was going to her appointments, but was slowly withdrawing from her activities. She was skipping meals, missing a dose here and there, nothing dramatic, but just small slips. So nobody could have called her unhealthy. But she was drifting, and the good news is we were able to make some really small changes that made a really big difference for her. So today I want to walk you through the pillars that I see make or break someone's ability to stay independent at home. And that to me is staying active, eating well, staying safe with medications, staying connected to community, keeping the mind engaged, and planning ahead. So let's start with the first one, movement, my favorite. When I say stay active, I don't mean going to the gym. For most of the folks I see, movement looks like walking the dog, gardening, stretching while the coffee is brewing on the kitchen counter. Gentle, regular activity does so much. It protects the balance, it lifts the mood, it helps with sleep, it builds confidence. So when someone trusts their own body again, everything else gets so much easier. So this is one of the quiet ways that home care really helps. A caregiver walking right beside someone, reminding them to do their physical therapy exercises, helping with safe transfers in and out of the chair, with a nurse overseeing the plan when it's needed. So I remember a client that we started with, and we started with just short walks to the mailbox of the caregiver. And those short walks turned into walks around the neighborhood. And it didn't happen overnight, but it happened slowly with daily consistent work. So here's a sign to watch out for. If your loved one used to be active and now spends most of their time in the recliner watching TV, that's worth paying attention to. It doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means it's time to ask some gentle questions. So the next pillar is just as important, and it's happening in the kitchen. Here's a common reality that I see with older adults living alone all over the county. When cooking feels overwhelming, meals slowly, quietly turn into just toast, crackers, or sometimes nothing at all. Nutrition doesn't have to be complicated. Balanced meals, enough water through the day, that's it. But when those slip, everything slips. Their energy, mood, even fall risk. Dehydration alone can make someone unsteady on their feet and foggy in their thinking. And then there's medication safety. Many older adults are managing 5, 6, 10 prescriptions. And that's a lot for anyone. A missed dose here, an accidental double dose there, 2 medications that don't play well together. These things happen quietly, but they add up. This is where the nurse-led care really does matter. So a registered nurse can sit down with them, reconcile all of their meds, coordinate with the doctors, and then day to day, what our caregivers do is they help with the reminders and making sure that their routines keep it all on track. I'll tell you about one family. They were convinced mom's memory was failing, and it was really scary for them. But support came in. We found a lot of it was actually dehydration, inconsistent meals, medications. And so once we kind of worked on her routines were steady with meals, water, medications. She came back to herself, and the family was really surprised that, it really was just based on lack of consistency with routines. So here's a question to sit with. If you opened your loved one's fridge today, what would you see? The next pillar might surprise you because it's not something we measure with lab work. It's connection. Loneliness is a quiet risk factor. It doesn't show up on a blood test, but it affects mood, memory, motivation. And honestly, we see that more than anything else. Connection can look like a lot of things. Going to church, going to the community center, video calls with the grandkids, just chatting with a caregiver over a cup of coffee. Those little moments of connection really do matter. Connection and cognitive health, they go hand in hand. So the brain wants to be used. So simple things help. Card games, real conversations, listening to music from their era, flipping through old photo albums, talking about their families and their memories. They're not just nice activity, they're genuinely proactive. And for families dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia, there's specialized support. So safe, predictable routines, orientation cues around the house, calm redirection instead of correction. It makes daily life just gentler for everybody. So here's something that I really want you guys to hear is healthy aging is not a test you pass or fail. It's about keeping the brain and the heart engaged. So often what people really miss isn't an activity. It's feeling useful, feeling purposeful, feeling connected with community. The last pillar is the one that families most often miss, which is planning ahead before crisis. It's not something that, anyone really talks to you about. You don't get training for, how to take care of your spouse or your loved one or your parent. And, oftentimes people are left trying to figure this out when there's a major crisis or hospitalization. So most of the hard moments I see, the falls, hospital stays, the family caregiver burnout, didn't have to arrive as emergencies. Prevention is about getting ahead of them. And I love when I get a call from a family that says, hey, we don't need you now, but we want to prepare for when we do need you. Prevention it's more than appointments. It's a home safety check, which we can help with. Grab bars in the bathroom, making sure they don't have any rugs that are, going to be danger. Good lighting in the hallway, clear walkways, simple, just unglamorous things that a lot of people don't think about, but can prevent these life-changing falls. It also means exploring support before you need it. So looking at short-term transitional care after a hospital stay, respite care so a family caregiver can rest, even a gradual test run of a home care, a few hours a week. So I try to encourage people that, when you really need it, it's hard to get used to it. So, when you really need it, you need a lot more of it. So I encourage people, hey, why don't you try, even just once a week, just to start getting used to having someone in your home. Last month's conversation about the VA benefits is a perfect example of this. There's so many benefits, resources, support structure. Those are all a part of planning ahead. And there are so many great resources in this community. So when I meet with these families who are planning ahead, I encourage them to create a little binder of all of the resources and the possible help that you'll need, if something happens, so that a family isn't left scrambling trying to make these decisions, last minute. One of the biggest regrets I hear from families is this: I wish we had started this 6 months ago. Asking questions, it's not overreacting. It's actually really wise. So something that you can do, what can you do this week to get started, to make a step towards, being proactive? So here's a few things you can do. One of them, have an honest conversation with your parent about what's getting harder. Not a confrontation, a conversation. Really just to kind of open up that line of communication and get them comfortable talking about some of the changes that are happening. The second one is doing a home safety check. Look at the rugs, the lighting, the clutter in the walkways. This is something that we're happy to help with as well. We have a really nice little checklist that we can either send to you or come and take a look at ourselves. The third one is just checking in on the meals and the medication times. What's in their fridge? How are they going shopping consistently? What does their medication routine look like? How are they managing their meds? You look at their med box, have they missed a day of medications? Those are all really important indicators. And the last one is just make it one phone call to a doctor, a local senior resource, or call us and ask us to come over, and we will come over. No obligation, no expectation of needing to start care at any point soon. We are just so happy. We have a really awesome team of client relations managers that just sit down with you and help you navigate those resources, because sometimes it is home care that you need. Sometimes you need home modifications. Sometimes an assisted living, sometimes a facility is a better option for you. So we're really passionate about helping people navigate their options as they age. So please use us as a resource. And a quick word on who we are for anyone that doesn't know who Bright Star is. We're nurse-led and Joint Commission accredited. We serve communities across Loudoun County. We do caregiving as well as nursing in the homes. So our goal is just to kind of meet you where you're at and help you wherever you are. That can be at home, that can be in a facility, wherever you need us. So if today's conversation sparked anything for you and makes you think, maybe we're 10 years out from any of this happening, but I'd love to at least have a conversation, I'm happy to come and meet you, do a virtual Zoom, do a phone call, whatever works for you to make sure that you have all of the information, all the questions that you need to start thinking about. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. You can just call if you're just exploring. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes with me. I'm so grateful to be a part of this community here in Loudoun County. I love taking care of my people here. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you next month. Thank you.